SA Rugby has joined the global chorus of tributes being paid to Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who passed away this morning. The Arch was a staunch supporter of the Springboks. He used to watch the World Championship live in Cape Town whenever he had the time. One man who used to host the late Archbishop is SA Rugby President Mark Alexander, who joins us now via Zoom. Thank you so much for your time, Mark. We do appreciate it. Just tell us about some of your fondest memories and your encounters with the Arch.
I think, Heidi, thanks for having me on the show. We have lost another giant, and I think our country is immensely poor for it. You know, the Archbishop stood for all that was the best of us as a nation. And his fearless freedom fighting was an example for all of us to oppose the injustices that occurred. He was an ardent supporter of the Springboks. He attended most of our games that were hosted in Cape Town. And we were humbled by his attendance in 2019, when the Springboks had the trophy tour in Cape Town. He attended that welcome for the Springboks in Cape Town, and our players were immensely proud of having him around. But he also took us to task when we failed in some of our principal positions we took as an organization, particularly transformation. And he was a big critic of rugby, but he was a great supporter of the game as well. And he was an example, and the principles he stood for will be surely missed over the years. And we would like to wish our condolences to his family during this time of bereavement.
Mark, maybe speak to us about his interactions with the Springboks before the matches, after the matches. I know you say that sometimes when the Springboks wouldn't do well, he would always take you guys to task. But maybe take us into that conversation and into the room when the Arch did have a conversation with the Springboks. What was that like?
You know, the Arch used to go and meet the players. You know, they met them when they returned from the World Cup. But he also sent messages of support before games, you know, and when South African rugby failed to deliver on our transformation initiatives, he would write to us, you know, and he would be quite critical about where he sees the organization going. So he never minced his words. While he was a supporter, he was also one of our biggest critics. So, and we appreciated that because he was honest in his contribution to the game. I think he also had an affinity with the players. You know, if you've seen that when he arrived in 2019 with Sia and all the players, he took an interest in the players individually, and he would send them messages when they played big games, and that was important for us as a country. You know, we're having one of our statesmen interacting with the players when they're doing service for the country.
Mark, speak to us about what you will remember him, how you will remember him, and perhaps your fondest moments or encounter with Archbishop Tutu. You
know, he once said to me, "We are privileged to be heading up an organization that should be the catalyst for social change in rugby." He says Mandela saw it in 1985, what sport does for a country. And we as sports people has a role to play, and we need to play a sincere role. We are not the game. The game are the players. We as officials are purely the coordinators for the activities. And I never forgot that, you know. I always remind myself and my fellow executive members that we purely the coordinators for the players' activities. And this game belongs to the country. It doesn't belong to a handful of individuals. It belongs to the whole country. And that's why sport plays a big role. And he always took us back to what our role was in the game. And he always takes you back to principal positions. He says, no, you must see people for people. Don't put them in boxes. See people for people first. Like he says, you must see sports people for sports people. Not by the content of the character or the color of their skin. And that's what I always did when I go into meetings. I remember what he said. You must always, when you go into meetings, you must see players, you must see administrators. Don't see people. Don't judge people by color. Don't see them by color. See them as South Africans first. And that reminds me, it takes me back to what Oliver Temple said, there will be no black, there will be no white, there will just be South Africans. And he drove that message across, all the time when we see him. And he took us back to remember what this country should be standing for and how we must see each other. And that's how I saw people in the country. And that was one of the great values he had.
Thank you so much. We actually really do appreciate your insights and sharing some of your fondest memories. That's SA Rugby President Mark Alexander.